everyone comes here for different reasons and everyone has different goals. Like, I know for me, like some people come in and all they can think about is finding housing and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Like, I can't even begin to think about housing because I have to pay off an eviction. Um, and I've never been in that predicament ever in my life. So I have to work on that. I got to work on credit. And I literally lost everything. So, I mean, and I've been surviving my whole life. Like, I feel really safe here. Not comfortable where I'm scared to fly away, but I feel completely safe here. I know as long as I keep doing what I have to do, St. John's will be right there to help. Besides me doing the work and besides putting it all in God, St. John's will be here to support me in any which way they can. And so I plan on, like, my plan is to stay here. I mean, I'm going to ride this whole program out, like, till the wheels fall off. Like, and actually, not till the wheels fall off, till this supermobile is completely built. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the need to rush. Like, I'm not rushing to anything. I mean, I rushed to, find validation in men and, sex and drugs. And I look to find reassurance in men and sex and drugs. And I went to find self-worth and value in men and sex and drugs. And now I'm homeless. Inevitably, my cycle of insanity, like, and that's all it was. It just was a sick cycle of insanity, as if, like, of people pleasing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, choose me. And, oh, and then it was like, honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, I probably could still be doing things right. Actually, if I'm going to be honest, you know what I'm saying? It might necessarily, drugs exacerbated feelings and not of intimacy, okay? Not one of those weirdos who, toot and start doing weird shit. It exacerbated my feelings. So, but my inner child who yearns for a home, my inner child that yearns for love, my inner child that yearns to have just like nurture and then my inner woman who wants a man to love me, my inner woman who wants a man to hold me, my inner child who wants a man to protect me and to help me provide and to help me build, not because I can't do it myself. Codependency is not an issue here whatsoever. I have been independent from the moment I got on this dang planet, okay? Like, independent might as well have been my middle name, okay? I've never needed a man for anything. I've never, other than, hoping that I would be the one that they pick and the one that we can just, do this thing called life together. But other than that, no, I don't need you to fix my car. I don't need you to go get groceries. I don't need you to cook. Don't need you to clean. Don't need you to show me do laundry. Don't need you to fix a window. Don't need you to fix a tire. Like, those things that other women have used men for, don't know what that is. Never had it. Never done it. Because I just do for myself. Because I'm not going to ask more than once. And when I know, I'm not going to ask more than a couple times. And when I know that you're not listening, it's not even stubborn. I'm just too strong of a woman. Like, if it needs to be done, then I'm going to do it. And you know what I'm saying, with or without you, I'm gonna do this shit. Period, point blank. Like, I will not wait on a man. And there's a difference, I know, because I try hard in a relationship. I try very hard before I get to that point. I try to communicate. I try to communicate, you know what I'm saying, in every single one of them. And then I try to carry the weight of the world and our relationship and our children, the children, whatever, my children on my back, and the household, and the priorities and responsibilities and the chores and livelihood. I carry that on my back alone. Working, you know, the financial, like all of it. Like, I carry the responsibility of that on my own. And, you know, it's just been, I mean, people like, it's just, I've learned a lot being here, like, in a very, you know, I've been allowed to really process my life. I've been able to find God. I've been able to find recovery. I've been able to find fellowship. I've been able to find community. I'm still working on that inner child, but I can tell you that I've really been able to dig through all the files, and dig through the wreckage, and I've really been able to pull different pieces out of, like, trauma and pain and hurt, and I've really been able to sit on it, and I've really been able to work through it, and I've really been able to identify quite a few things, and I've been able to grow. And that's probably the, you know, I mean, and so I'm in no rush. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am so grateful to Good Shepherd Church. Like, I mean, it's just so crazy how God works. Let me tell you, the fact that, like, I mean, there are so many little signs, you know, like, for example, the fact that I named my channel Saint Lauren 57. I mean, I'm a really good woman. I'm a really good woman. I'm a really good mother. I'm a really good friend. I'm a really good person. I'm a really good neighbor. Like, I'm a good citizen. I have a really big heart. And I'm world peace, man. Like, I'm about that. We're just world peace. Like, can we all just get along and have a beautiful life? Can we all just pour into each other so that we all can thrive? You know what I mean? Like, I'm super that one, right? And I think that's why I chose that, you know, and not to mention the fact that, like, I'm always looking after kids. Like, I'm always looking to protect somebody, especially women and children, you know, always have been, always will be. You know, I played the role of dad and big brother. You know, I took on those roles growing up. So, I took on those roles with my girlfriends growing up too. You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't just my sisters. It was, you know, my friends growing up, and you know, my good neighbors and other women. And so that's why I picked that title. And who knew that, you know, 5 months later I'd show up at St. John's Program for World Change. Who knew? And not to mention, like, Good Shepherd, the fact that, I mean, I used to live across the street from Good Shepherd. I never knew what that was right there. It doesn't necessarily look like one of your, you know, like your, how would you say that? Your modern day churches, you know, it has a very, like, you just don't know what you're missing until you miss it, really. And, or until you really, really know what's there. And, yeah, it's just, it's crazy how much that location plays into my life. And then not only that, like, there are extended family members who have been in this program, you know, gone to that church, you know, I know them. I've gone to church with them. I've gone to, I've been at, we've gone to Celebrate Recovery together. So it's just, it's funny. I told my daughter the other day on the phone, about how it's a small world. And she was like, you're being silly. The world is big. And I'm like, the earth is big, but the world is very small. And I said, you'll understand when you're older, And it's so coincidental, so many things, and so it just, but yeah, I'm so grateful. To of all churches that could be coming here to do Bible study, to have a church that comes here that literally spoke to me, because that's what kept me from religion, and the stereotype of religion is what kept me from God, is what kept me from extending my hand to God in a holy place, because from what I know, whether I had my face in a Bible or not, I know that God is not about hating people. God is about love. Like, you can't create something without love. Like, you can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you create something, you want it to grow. You want it to I can't think of the word, but you just want it to, like, flourish and keep, you know what I'm saying? Like, and granted, but when you make something out of hate, when you make something from a hateful place, you want it to destroy. You want it to be destructive. You want it to feel bad. And you can only break something down so much. You know what I'm saying? But you can always modify and glue together and put something together and put something together. You know what I'm saying? It might look a little bit different every time, but there's always, where there's a will, there's a way. And time is forever changing. You know what I'm saying? But, you can't just, you really, you just can't. You know what I'm saying? And that's why good will always triumph over evil. But that's not the point. The point is that that's what kept me from religion is, as a Christian person and as a believer in God and knowing what his mission statement was, like, in my heart, and what I've always known to be true, even when I wasn't finding God, and even when I wasn't looking, and even when I wasn't ready, and even when that wasn't even something like I even entertained, I just knew that God's not about hate. And coming to this classroom and having Bible study every Monday with these beautiful women from Good Shepherd, like, I found God, because these women they teach from such a, and they just share. It's not even necessarily, I'm learning, so to me it's teaching, but they're sharing something that they were taught, and they were shown, and it's just from such a loving place of grace. And that's what I love about Good Shepherd, is that this church is of God's grace. The whole mission of that church it speaks to exactly who I am. And I'm just so happy that of all the places that could have came here to find one that it's in such a location that's so close to home for me. But the fact that it would have the exact message of the exact life I've led internally, it's the life I believe in. I believe in a life of love. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me. That's the hippie in me, or the Christian, one or the other. I don't know. But, so yeah, that's, I'm trying to think if that concludes part 3. Because I have an idea for part 4, really, of what else to explain. I have this vision, but besides Bible study, and now, like, I'm active in this church, and now I'm active in this thing called Celebrate Recovery that, and I love it because it, it's become my very own. The leadership is from Good Shepherd, so they've made it their very own, and it's just another place that comes from a place of love. Like, man, the love in that room, and just, oh, my brothers and my sisters there. Oh my gosh, like, I couldn't imagine healing any other way without these people, without God bringing us together, without, their knowledge of God and their relationship with God to help me keep growing in my relationship with God, Oh, it's great. I love them all. And so, but also it introduced me to, hospitals and institutions, which led me to AA and NA, which led me to when I, besides being blessed with a vehicle, okay, like, I'm telling you, I never even thought that I would ever have wheels again. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But it happened. All legit. And by the grace of God and just trusting and believing, and what better way, and back to the people-pleasing thing. Besides not having anywhere, to go, I cannot not put my best foot forward to show how grateful I am to these people who have stood by my side through this whole entire program, from picking me up at my home, housing me and my cat, keeping me safe, keeping me warm, keeping me fed, and not just putting me in a room, but, including me in the family, you know what I'm saying? Knowing I basically had none anymore, especially the fact that I'm a mother and now I've been without my children, like, oh, my heart. But these people made sure I kept it together, and they made sure they did their best to be the glue of the pieces of my heart that just were so, was trying to fall apart, and they were just keeping it together. So, I not only do my best for me, because that's what's important here, and I know that's all that they care about is for me to do what's best for me. You know what I'm saying? But just growing up as a people pleaser, and I might get a hug today. I might get a high five today. I might not get hit today with the belt. Oh, I might not get like harassed by a drunk dad, or I might not get called fat today by this other parent. I might not get looked at like I'm disgusted. If I please them, if I can just do right, that won't happen today. Like maybe I'll get, and even if I don't ever get love or nurturing, at least I won't, get shamed, and I won't feel bad today, and I can just run outside and play, and I won't, won't be hurt today. And so there's a, an inner child that's just a total people pleaser, totally reads the room. And I don't ever want to owe anybody anything. I don't want anyone to ever think I'm ungrateful or unappreciative, But I know that those people who really love me, they don't even think about that. They're just watching me and they're like, I'm proud of her. And they encourage me and they support me and they love me. And all they care about is that I'm not on the street. I'm not alone. I'm somewhere safe. I'm, doing whatever I need to do for my sobriety. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no judgment. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely no judgment. There's no expectation. There's just acceptance and love and encouragement and support. And so even though like I think sometimes, because, that's my inner trauma, right? People pleasing, but I like, this recovery road is for me. This part of life is for me. And I'm just, life is completely, I have made real change. I have made real change here at St. John's, and oh man, there are no words. There are no words. There's nothing more I can show or say, wait, no. There's nothing more. There's like no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no better way to show my appreciation and love and to just show and like, just prove that it works. To prove that all of this happened for a reason. To prove that, you know, God is on my side, and to prove that things will be okay. And there's nothing more to prove that I am doing everything right. You know what I'm saying? To the best of my ability. And other than to keep going. And to other than to show the progress I've made since I've been here. I mean, I don't really know how many people do get this great of an opportunity, because if I didn't have so many of these people in these rooms and you know, I mean, how can you recover being like stranded on the streets? How can you be recover? How, like, I mean, just the, you know, it's like, you know, being in the ocean and just being hit, you know, the wave hitting you against the reef over and over and over until you're just like, God, you know what I'm saying? Chop liver, you know, shit. And so, but yeah, so, you know, also like now I've built like this foundation of recovery. I have a foundation in faith, a foundation in community, and a foundation in recovery. You know, the new trifecta. Which is funny. I'll get to that another day. But, you know, faith, community, recovery. And so I go to NA meetings. I go to AA meetings. And actually for my birthday, there's a Narcotics Anonymous speaker jam in the Bay Area. And so I'm hoping that I could bring a couple of my sisters with me, or at least one. But it's actually on my birthday. And I think I know I really want to go do that for myself. You know, because, you know, it's different when I was in rehab and I was doing things because I was in rehab. But this is different. Like, recovery is a part of my life. Just as faith needs to be part of my life, and I can't have faith without community. And I can't have faith and community without my recovery. Because without my recovery, I isolate. And obviously I feel shame. And I know I won't be doing the right things. So I will turn away from God and community. So I have to have recovery. And I mean, I really, you know, I don't need to worry about the future, you know, all this kind of thing. All I know is that right now, the way I have my sobriety set up, and the way, you know, I'm saying, like, that's just what it's got to be. I need to have, like, I need to fill all of this. I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been using for a lot of years. And even if it wasn't the substance, the mind-altering substance that, like, that took any part of taking me out, either way, when you have trauma and you're using something to cope with trauma, because sometimes things just go from, oh, I have insomnia, oh, I'm in pain, to when it's like, I mean, you can't really get much higher than high. You know what I'm saying? And it starts becoming like becomes a codependency on something to prevent you from feeling. You, instead of, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you're hurt, so you run to a bowl of ice cream. Well, I'm going to go roll into a fucking fat blunt. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to go, you know, run out to go get some dope. I'm going to go run out to go twist the pipe. Like, I'm going to go run to get a fucking drink. Like, at the end of the day, if I'm feeling something, I need to feel all of it. And one thing that I definitely know I'm going to take into the future is, if I'm feeling something, I cannot pick up anything. I need to really feel it. I cannot codepend on things, legal or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just to be at my very best right now is to have some self-discipline, and to really, you know what I'm saying? I got my whole life Do you know what I'm saying? I got my whole life, and I don't need to worry about my whole life. I just need to worry about what's working for me right now, and the foundation I'm building and what that looks like. And so sobriety to me right now is just, like I said, celibacy too. I need to try. I put it all in God. I'm putting it all in God. I'm putting my sobriety in my body with God too. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't pick for myself. I mean, I can't. I cannot. And anyone who I have ever loved, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, like, if I was broken, there was something in them that was broken too, and God's working on them too. And you can't, for one, I don't go back. And some things are a little bit different. But the point is, like, if I was broken, then there's something in them broken too. And so at some point, God needs to work on all of them, all of me. But that's not my problem. I'm focused on me and my recovery, and and that will lead me to success. That will lead me to build the life I've always wanted. That will lead me to, just being able to maintenance and keep it and thrive and just be able to, I won't just be surviving anymore. Like, right now I'm thriving. Every day I thrive. I'm not just surviving. And some days I gotta fake it till I make it, when my hip wants to try to give me a hard time. And that's really, honestly, I couldn't imagine how much faster I'd be moving if this hip wasn't, in my way. And that's the only thing that, if I could even say hindering, I don't even know if that's the right word, because I'm still doing everything I gotta do. So, and even though it's just a little bit slower and obviously a little bit more painful, I've been causing myself pain for a really long time, and I've been moving too fast for a really long time just to get on by. And so, residual effects, maybe. So, I think that covers part 3. So, at St. Lauren 57, be safe and be